Hi everyone, pronoun dar, as they say, or whatever time of the day it is you're watching this video. Royal Welsh show. Me and my partner went early this week. If you've ever been, you'll know that it's an absolutely great, it's a fantastic day out. There's something there for everybody. And I was pleasantly surprised at how political it was for something that was ostensibly a livestock, agricultural, farming sort of event. It was very diverse in entertainment and what was on, but it wasn't very diverse in the attendance, I have to say. Channel 4's despicable Jon Snow probably would have said, I've never seen so many white people. And yeah, there weren't many people from other backgrounds there. And you may or may not be surprised to note that there weren't any stabbings or shootings or robberies or sexual assaults that I know of. Police were there, of course, for any major event. There's 250,000 people passing through the Welsh show this week. And we noticed that they were just basically there and taking advantage of the fact that they got free entry. They're paid to be there. And there's not a lot for them to do, really, other than wander around. And that's exactly what happened. You know, we kept bumping into a female and a male police officers. We first encountered them in the pigsties because my girlfriend wanted to go and look at the pigs. That is, no pun intended, that is where we first bumped into them. And they were walking up and down the sties, looking in the pens. And my girlfriend said, let's go and look at the goats. So we went up at the goats, and there they were again, just wandering around, having a look at the animals. Then we went in the poultry shed, and there they were again, walking up and down. Because there weren't really any crimes or missing children or anything else to do, even though in a concentrated area there were thousands and thousands of people. So that's it. That was something interesting to note. You know, the police don't get such an easy ride at the Notting Hill Carnival, despite what Sadiq Khan and the Labour Party like to keep telling us. Diversity is strength. Is it really? Is it? So anyway, we saw a hell of a lot of things there. The wood chopping competition, sheep shearing competition, hunting dogs, horses, crazy Ukrainians on horses, the Cossack show where they riding the horses and standing up and hanging off the side of the horse and jumping, spinning around on the horses. It's pelting along. Really nervous to watch that kind of thing, but they were absolutely brilliant. And there were just hundreds and hundreds of stalls and stands and places to eat, places to drink. Unfortunately, on the day we went, we didn't see any celebrities, we didn't see any party leaders. We were there on the day where we didn't bump into Kemi Badenoch, we didn't bump into Nigel Farage or any of the other party leaders that were there. And like I say, it was very political. The first thing I saw was the Welsh government stand. And I wanted to go and speak to them. I didn't spend an awful lot of time speaking to politicians and activists on the day because my partner is not at all interested in that sort of thing. And every time I did go and speak to someone, she disappeared into the crowd. So we ended up having to phone each other. Anyway, cut a long story short, if you live near Wales or in Wales or travelling in and out of Wales, you will know that the 20-mile-an-hour mandate is an absolute nightmare for drivers. It is shocking. Getting to the show, I used to enjoy driving years ago, but with things like low traffic neighbourhoods, clean air zones, ULEZ, 20-mile-an-hour mandate, speed cameras everywhere, congestion lanes, bike lanes. Yeah, it's an absolute nightmare, and it's only going to get worse because of the net zero, crazy climate change fanatics that are running governments now. And the Labour government in the Senate has been imposing these measures on people a lot longer than Keir Starmer has in Westminster. And the 20-mile-an-hour thing is all part of that, to make driving as uncomfortable as possible, to literally drive people off the roads. Obviously, if you're in a rural community or a semi-rural community, you've got no choice but to drive because you can't get anywhere otherwise. So to impose it on Wales, really, really disastrous. And I wanted to put my point across that this is a ridiculous policy that needs to be reversed. So I spoke to the guy in the Welsh government stand. He explained that he wasn't representing a party, but he pointed to some Labour people behind him who were talking to someone, and so I chatted to him for a while, and he mentioned that there were other political stands. He said there's a Reform stand right over the other side of the event, so I thought I'll go and speak to them for certain. And as soon as there was one specific Labour person who I recognised and went to speak to them, took one look at my T-shirt and disappeared into a side room. So she knew exactly where I was coming from before she disappeared. Anyway, so I explained to my girlfriend, I says, listen, there's a Reform UK stand. I want to find it. I want to speak to the people there. I want to see because they could be in government in Wales next year in the Senate. They were, the last poll I saw, they were polling just behind Plaid Cymru, but ahead of Labour. And I'm expecting the next poll to show them possibly in front. So potentially, who knows, if that red wall in South Wales falls to Reform, they will be in government, because there's a hell of a lot of seats in South Wales, because that's where most of the population in Wales lives, the built-up areas. So I made it my mission that day to find this Reform UK stand. And on the way, I was pleasantly surprised to find that there were other parties there represented, including smaller parties. But the first one we came across was the Labour Party. They had their own stand, and I have to say, there's 3 people there. They looked like they were still faffing about with the stand, setting it up at like midday, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. No one was taking any interest in them, taking any leaflets or anything. No interest. And I also noted that stand was half the size of most of the other parties that were there. So later in the day, we saw Plaid Cymru, we saw Liberal Democrats, Reform UK. All of their stands was twice the size of the Labour stand. And apart from maybe the Lib Dems, the other parties had people stopping, taking leaflets, talking to their activists. So that was quite promising to see that Labour had no interest at all. And on the way down to try and find this Reform UK stand, we bumped into the Heritage Party stand of David Curtin, who I believe used to be part of UKIP years ago. Lovely people, absolutely lovely people. As you can see, is there a climate emergency? My T-shirt, obviously we're on the same page. Now, anyone that's been the Labour Party for a long time knows that we do not directly endorse political parties. We may produce memes that feature, prominent politicians from certain parties, but that is not and endorsement. We are not politically aligned. But speaking to people that are like-minded, conservatives, libertarians, right-wingers, very interesting, good people. And next door to the Heritage Party was the United in Britain campaign, which is the opposite of the Yes Cymru campaign. So as soon as you cross into Wales, you start seeing these stickers. I hate stickers because it's another form of littering or graffiti. And these Yes Cymru stickers you see them everywhere. They're horrible, ugly things, and they are from the group that wants Wales to secede from the United Kingdom and become independent, but get that membership of the European Union. Yeah, we've heard it all before. Yes, total hypocrisy and double standards. So United in Britain is the opposite to them. They want Wales to maintain its position in the United Kingdom. So yeah, I got some leaflets from them as well. Eventually, did find the Reform UK stand. Spoke to some lovely Welsh girls. Couldn't really get a word in. Very enthusiastic about things. Didn't really manage to, although I did get a pledge that they would rescind the 20 mile an hour thing, as the Heritage Party were also promising to rescind the 20 mile an hour thing. But there's a lot of things that people are upset about. The Reform activists mentioned that they got a lot of farmers coming into the stand, and obviously in Wales, like I say, Labour government in the Senedd have had longer to impose these sort of anti-farm and anti-food measures. So they want farmers in Wales to give up a certain percentage of their land for rewilding, which basically means taking farmland out of agriculture, away from livestock, and planting trees or whatever, yeah? Which, planting trees is not a bad thing, but you're taking farmland away from farmers, which again is all socialists have ever done throughout history, is attack farmers and attack the means of food production. And we know what happens on the back of that. Net zero is about making people hungrier, colder, poorer, and less free. So obviously farmers are concerned. They're concerned about the Westminster policies that have been introduced, the farm tax, the inheritance tax, which again is designed to remove farms and farmland from farmers and farming. And without farmers, there's no food. In quest of fairness, there was a Conservative stand, but we didn't see it. We didn't see the Conservative stand. We didn't see the Green Party stand either. Not that I got any interest in the Green Party, except if they were on fire, I would probably go to the nearest toilet and urinate there. So yeah, couldn't speak to the Tories, but spoke to Reform, spoke to this Heritage Party. Heritage Party, obviously, really, really tiny party. A lot of people won't have heard of it. It's exactly what the government want. They want all these sort of right-wing, conservative, libertarian parties smashed into splinters across the political spectrum. So they're so small they can't actually do anything. With Reform UK, obviously, the momentum is going their way at the moment, and away from the main parties, Conservatives. So yeah, I did get an interesting little sticker while I was there. I don't do stickers, so this isn't going anywhere other than our fridge. But I got that sticker, and I don't want to get anyone in any trouble, but I got that from a stand that I've mentioned, and it may surprise some of you as to where I got that sticker from unofficially, because of the t-shirt. The t-shirt was very popular at the show. So yeah, get yourself some Raw Welsh next year. Worth every penny. You might bump into a party leader or two. We didn't, unfortunately, but we bumped into plenty of grassroots activists who are campaigning for a lot of the things that the Labour Party are very concerned about, especially net zero, farming, 20 mile an hour anti-motorist policies, Brexit, a lot of the same issues. So anyway, that's all I've got for you for now. Diolch yn fawr.